Hello.
Today's episode of DragonCast covers censorship of video games. This topic has been a very political topic over the years, spanning all circles in governments and religion to a person's sensitive feels about themselves. While Lavistro Plays, and DragonCast doesn't normally cover such topics, it is important to note that games are free speech, and to dictate, that is not only to dictate what gamers can and cannot play, it is to dictate the individual on what they can and cannot do. We do not condone censorship and will be discussing the history, speculation, and reasons for such things, and the laws dictating free speech. If the topic offends you, then perhaps you too agree games are art and shouldn't be censored. Otherwise, you are a poser and a tourist, a Karen. And nobody likes a Puritan. But to coin Lavistro, I do not know, I just work here. To the rest of you, enjoy the show. Don't be a pussy or a Karen.
Lavistro wakes in the underground. Cyber Dragon host seizes the helm. Dive into the madness of virtual realms. Welcome to DragonCast. Fire-breathing wine, screaming loud. Lavistro's here to shake the crowd. Psychotic dragon ready to ignite. Hold on tight, we're taking flight. From Gamergate to Goonergate, woke crusaders spew their hate. Lies unfold before our ears. Podcast rage to calm our fears. Reclaim gaming in DragonCast. Fire-breathing wine, screaming loud. Lavistro's here to shake the crowd. Psychotic dragon ready to ignite. Hold on tight, we're taking flight. DragonCast. Worlds clash in endless collision. Gaming news with a fierce precision. With a spark so wild it breaks the norm. In the tempest eye of analysts face the score. Truth burns with a psychotic roar. Corrupt suits sneer what they despise. DragonCast will open your eyes. Integrity found in DragonCast. Fire-breathing metal, screaming loud. Lavistro's here to shake the crowd. Psychotic dragon ready to ignite. Hold on tight, we're taking flight. DragonCast. DragonCast. Of justice cut through the dark. Lavistro's roar ignites the spark. A dragon's heart fiercely defends the gaming world. Our passion ascends. This is DragonCast. DragonCast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of DragonCast. And it's been a long time coming, but we're finally interviewing some members from Baz Inc. But before I introduce him and the panelists, let's go ahead and say hello to everyone in the chat. As you know, we are live on the Rumbles and the YouTubes, And we have Valkyria Winter saying his epic quote of all time: "Hail all, food of time and Scal." Yes, Scal.
Yeah.
I do apologize for running a little late on the YouTubes and Rumbles. Had a last second family thing that happened, but the family first. That's always what I say. And we have Ultra TTRPG. I did get your DM. I am fixing it in the updated credit sequence in Flight to 500 video, so you will be in there. Just take some time because back to school season. And we had this loser here. Dash, he looks a lot like you, but his head proportions aren't tiny.
Yeah, I know. I'm still working on that.
Tiny.
Yeah, I know. Tiny head. I'm getting it.
You know what your body reminds me of? That Captain America image. I tried finding it. I couldn't find it, but it's like he has a big, huge chest and a really tiny head as well. You seen that meme?
No.
That's what it reminds me of. But other than that, how you been doing, bud?
Oh, I'm just doing good. I was doing some work for an internship today. I'm hoping it leads to a new job opportunity. But other than that, yeah, I been just been doing the a show on I've been doing Ryan's show on Rumble. And some interesting developments happening. That some I can't really disclose, but I'm just saying some interesting things might be happening with regards to that.
Like, is he getting back on YouTube? Interesting.
I'm not saying. Not saying he might already be back in a form or two.
I certainly hope so. I haven't been able to catch his shows much, and Rumble doesn't let me know when he's live. But yes, I do hope he gets back in there. And then we have our special guest. If you've been following Lavistro Plays and my live streams, every Wednesday I play with a couple of clowns on Fast Inc. And you might know Soul Soldier or Cross Gaming. But Soul, let me speak for everyone who only watches my DragonCast episodes and ask you for them. Who the fuck are you? Why the fuck are you here? And why the fuck should everyone care?
Well, like you were mentioning earlier, Lavistro, about a year ago, Lavistro, Kaio Zaber, Nozaku, and myself started playing Phasmophobia on Wednesday nights, and it's almost become a meme itself at this point, just with all the stuff that's happened. But yeah, I make YouTube videos myself. It's been around for quite a while, since 2013, but it's a still small channel compared to a lot of individuals out there. But I just kind of make gameplay videos just on games that I care about, and I just want to show to my audience.
Yeah, I mean, last I checked your channel, you're at almost 700 subscribers, so you're getting up there.
I'm actually close to 800 now.
Maybe I got the number wrong because I read something different. Yeah, wow, yeah, hard work. So, normally what we do different from other streams is we try to humanize our special guests. I interviewed Dash Attack back in the day. I interviewed VetGamerBoceifus, who isn't going to be here with us. You ever heard of Tombi?
I have not.
Or Mugen Lord?
No.
Basically, every special guest gets interviewed, and what we do, obviously, which is try to humanize the streamer that's our special guest. So in this case, we want to know, we're going to be asking questions about your past, and the chat will also be allowed to ask questions and get to know why you became a gamer and your streaming history. And then obviously, if we have time, we will be covering some gaming news and asking your input as well. And obviously, show your shit. And I think I did warn you that we do a window shopping where we showcase one game we found interesting. So our Like
Yeah,
that.
you did.
So, but let's go ahead and ask that. So, CrossGamer, you have 700 subscribers. You've been around for a while. Why did you call yourself CrossGamer, and why did you one day decide I'm going to post videos on YouTube? Did you just wake up and think I'm going to be like the next Mr. Beats and have thousands of subs and instant millions of dollars, or what started your journey?
Gosh, no. I think I started YouTube before Mr. Beast. I don't remember when. I don't know when he started. No, it kind of it. Not that it's changed that much, but I back when I started it, I was on like the extreme side of an introvert, to where talking to other people just would almost never happen. So I knew I needed to change that, and I don't know why I thought making YouTube videos was going to be the way to do that, but I did. So I just started making videos. I remember using Windows Movie Maker for my editing. That was a nightmare. But honestly, the first people I started watching was Total Biscuit and Jesse Cox. So
Oh, Jesse Cox. I haven't seen his videos in a long time.
Tabascus was great.
Yeah, those were the two that kind of really got me hooked into watching YouTube videos. So I just kind of wanted to do my own thing. I didn't initially really care about it growing crazy. Of course, like with anyone who makes content on the internet, you want to have people watch it, but it's just, instead of trying to chase the most popular thing, I just wanted to do what I wanted.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's always what I think everyone should do. Stop drawing for what everyone's going to talk about. Talk about something you love. Talk about something you know. And I'm sharing your YouTube channel so you can get some more subscribers. You're at 788 subscribers. And you've always mentioned this when we do Faz Inc. and other shows. But you do for a majority, you do gaming streams. I think the last one you showed on your live stream was Elden Ring. Yep, Elden Ring. And you've been doing some Zelda streams, which is awesome. Great choice. You can't go wrong with Zelda. But before we cover your content, I want to cover your avatar. So you have a silhouette of a knight with a G symbol on it. What is that supposed to be? Did you make that yourself? Is that supposed to be an actual game character? I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of interesting trying to get that thing to be visible for the thumbnails.
Yeah, so the Cross Gamer part wasn't the first name I had for the channel, but it was something I ended up settling on because I just wanted to have something that was very simple that got across that I'm a Christian and I play video games.
Oh no. And that's it. We do not allow Christians on this show. They want to censor video games. They want to enforce God on you. And oh wait, I'm a Christian. Dash is a Catholic.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Sol.
Anyway,
go ahead, continue.
I just wanted to be clear to people. That way, you knew what you were getting. And when it came to the avatar part, anyone who's played Hollow Knight would know that that's a lot of inspiration coming from it. And I personally made it. And the shield with the G on it is kind of part of it because the sword looks like a C when he has it unsheathed. So,
see, I thought the G meant G money.
No. He is not a G money homie.
Yeah, but it's awesome. It still is pretty awesome. I mean, I actually did not pick up the Hollow Knight reference. Actually, I was like, this looks familiar, but what is this? But I still think it's pretty cool. But what led you to streaming games?
I wanted to try to do it, like actually doing live streams. I wanted to try to do. Trying to think of the best way to say this, but the only thing that I've kind of really had a massive passion for is gaming. Even though like I am an artist, I'm trying to make art that I am going to use for a game, hopefully at some point that I want to make.
Wow.
But it's just trying to work towards to make entertainment for individuals, because gaming in general has just been something that's been a massive part of my life.
Yes. So when did you start realizing I'm a gamer? Actually, let's go way back in time, back to itty bitty cross gamer when he was shitting his diapers or eating Cheerios from a bowl with no milk. You know, those days. What was your first game you played?
The first game I remember playing, I don't even remember which one it was, but it was a Mega Man game on the NES.
Ooh.
But I can't even remember which number it was.
Was that the game that you said "fuck yeah, I'm a gamer," or was that like this one of your first games you played? What I'm asking is,
well, it's the first game I remember playing. It's kind of just been a part of my life. Because like even my mom and dad played a little bit, not to the same extent I do, but it's kind of just been there. So I don't know exactly what would have really kind of just shouted, yes, I'm a gamer. I've kind of always been playing them.
So what keeps you playing video games? I mean, obviously when we're kids, it's something fun, it's engaging, it's exciting. But as we grow older, you know, we change our interests. What kept you into video games? Because clearly you're an adult now. You got bigger interests, and you got a hot waifu that wants to kill us all and take you with her and phasmophobia. So what's
more like a stalker? But
Yandere.
Yeah. Mostly it's just I love experiencing stories people want to tell, and one of the games that, at least for me, most recently that I've just been falling in love with is Claire Obscura. I'm still playing through the second act, and it's just a ton of fun.
Are you typically a turn-based player?
Turn-based RPG or strategy games is mostly what I play.
I'm actually not a turn-based player, but I do love some of the classic 2D JRPGs. I have not played Expedition 33 yet.
But you should. It's great.
The only reason I have it yet isn't because like money constraints or anything like that. I'm just waiting for the hype to die down for me. It's like it's one of those new games that everyone's like, oh yeah, you want to play, you should play, and you get those kind of, I don't know what to call them, but I'm just gonna say they're equivalent to beer goggles. So I've seen some games like, for example, Dune Awakening. Everyone's like, oh, it's the best game. I tried playing it, and I'm telling people let it cook. And there are people telling me that it's actually not that great towards the end game. It's more toxic. It's more PvP towards the end. So I'm like, yeah, that's not my type of game. I'm not a PvP player. Excuse me. So obviously, if we ever played a PvP game in Baz Inc., I'd be screwed.
Yeah, I'm not too big on PvP games. It's not my cup of tea. But at least for me, Claire Obscura is still kind of, it could go south for me, but I've
Mhm.
enjoyed what I've played of it, and it sure has its kind of janky moments. It could probably use a couple of patches to fix some of the weird lag issues I've had, but
Mhm.
uh, combat is really solid, which I am
Oh
shocked.
yeah. No, I remember watching Hypnotic. I think I was watching you play it, Dash, as well. I can't remember. I was what like back when it first came out. Everyone and their mothers, cousins, sisters, friends, college roommate was playing it, and
Mhm.
yeah, I do remember the combat being smooth. It was awesome. That's what kept me interested in it when I'm normally not a turn-based player, unless it's like an RPG Maker game or 2D style. Once you go 3D, that's when I'm like, no, it breaks my immersion. Like that's literally why I hate turn-based. It's like I want my immersion, but when it's 2D, I'm like, I'm okay with this. Go figure. But no, the combat was nice. The storyline looks interesting. But no, I just waited that for a while. So, what would you say is your favorite all-time game? You said say you're actually no, we haven't even finished. We got sidetracked into Expedition 33. What would you say is your all-time favorite games? Because you said you play games for the story. You mentioned Expedition 33. What would you say of the games you've played in your life, your favorite one is?
Um, I'm always kind of back and forth on two different games, but it's either Golden Sun from the GBA games or
Oh,
Yeah,
Twilight Princess.
I'm going to.
yes. Go ahead, sorry,
Um,
Dash. Go ahead.
yeah, no, Twilight Princess is great, but I do want to play the Golden Sun games on Nintendo Switch Online at some point for the channel.
Oh, they're so good. You should
They
definitely
are
play them.
fantastic.
They
I
are fucking awesome.
I think probably one of my favorite things about the first game is it's not long. It like you can 100% the game in like 30 hours, but it does such a good job of setting up the world, having all kinds of fun and interesting things that you can
Keeping you
explore.
invested. Oh my
Oh yeah.
god. It
It,
keeps you like I remember playing in some of the games in high school, and I would get in so much shit because I would go to class the next day and I had nothing done. I had no homework done because I was so mesmerized by Golden Sun. I had to say, okay, homework first, then video games. My mom and dad didn't care as long as I got my homework done. But I learned real quick, I better do my homework first, then I can play my video games, which that lesson I keep today with my kid. I tell him, do your homework first, then you got video games. Now it's do your homework first. Weekends you can play video games because he's also having his own issues because he's obsessed with he's obsessed with sandbox games.
oh,
But
okay.
yeah, but real quick, I gotta point this out there, everyone. I am locked out of X because they think I'm a bot. It's now been officially a week since I've been locked out. So Lavistro
When's
84. I'm still waiting on a verification email. I can't get a hold of support. I tried all those little email. I tried everything they offered for locked out of your account, and they said, "Oh, you still have control of your account." I was like, "Then unlock my account." I'm still waiting for a verification email from you guys. There's no way for me to contact them and ask them what the fuck's going on. So, I have a friend who's called Totally Not Lavistro or Not Lavistro on X, and he is my voice and mouth while I'm gone. Which we do have. He is going to send me an ingress stream so I can connect with him for DragonCast to show some X news. But I noticed my mods are giving my old one. Yeah, go ahead and follow that one. Literally, if you want to help out at X and tell them why they haven't unlocked my account, if you want to. But if you want to know what's going on or my thoughts, Totally Not Lavistro will be the one to keep in touch with. I do apologize on that. But yeah, so go ahead. I forget, was it you or Dash that was talking before I interrupted?
No, I wasn't saying anything.
Of course you weren't.
Well, I mean we could sit here and talk about random video games that I've played as a kid. So
Oh yeah, that's literally what this channel usually tries to stir up. And like I said, if we have time, we'll cover gaming news. That's like, so you know, I mean, like I think I've already mentioned this with Kyle on our off-stream chats before we stream. But I started DragonCast because I missed the days where we talk about nerd shit, talk about video games, talk about games we play, talk about games coming up, you know, and just, you know, back in the days when you were a kid and you went to high school or whatever, and you had a little time before school starts, you're in the cafeteria and everyone's talking about the games they're excited about, or you were in the forums back in the day. You would discuss games that were coming out, discuss the lore, you know, bitch and argue about it, you know, back before all the politics bullshit came into play.
oh, yeah.
So that's what we do here. We try to say, hey, this person isn't just streaming video games because it's the next big thing since sliced bread. This person cares about video games. And this person wants to talk about his favorite games because, you know, I'm literally doing this for my kid and his generation. So because they don't have this. They don't have a way to talk about games and stuff like that. He's actually trying to bring it into his school, and he's only 9 years old. So he's learning from my example to bring it to his kids because his friends are already starting talking about politics. And he's like, I don't know what to talk about. So what do you mean? It's like, they're talking about what you said is grown-up talk. I was like, well, yeah. So like, well, what Donald Trump is doing or this thing is doing. I was like, oh, yeah, you're too young for that. So,
Yeah, like I didn't even really care about politics even in college. So it was
yeah.
It's one of those things like I tolerate it nowadays, but I don't really care too much.
I just care when he messes in my games. That's when I'm like, I don't want to deal with it. It's like watching football for normies. You know, they sit down, they just want to have an ice cold beer. They don't want to sit there and hear about the sins of America and see their favorite athlete take a knee. They want to, you know, watch the football game. If they wanted to see that, they go read an article or watch a political podcast or some shit. You know?
Yeah.
So that being said, what's your top 10 favorite games?
Well, I mentioned two of them. Twilight Princess and Golden Sun are definitely in those. I would say, oh jeez. I would have to put Final Fantasy IX in there.
Oh yeah, great game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh jeez.
Who's your favorite Final Fantasy IX party member?
I would have to say Freya. I think that's how you pronounce her name. The Dragoon.
Freya. Yes. Oh, she's my favorite too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I loved her design, and the story with her was really great.
Yeah.
I would. Oh, jeez. It's funny. You normally can think of like, oh, these are my favorite games, and now I'm drawing a blank. But
no, that's a typical gamer reaction. What's your favorite games? Oh shit, there's so many games. Do I have to pick just 10? Yes.
Know,
right? And then from those 10, you're like, okay, which one's my number one favorite? So mine changes all the time. It's always random.
Yeah. I would say also probably out of all of them, I would honestly put Pokemon Black and White on that, just because of it. I don't really care about where it is now, but Pokemon in general is something I've played since it came out. So those were some crazy times.
Pleasures.
Yeah.
I remember Pokemon Red. I had all three of the first ones: Pokemon Red, Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Yellow. I stopped playing after Crystal, but I didn't stop playing because, well, part of it was I was getting kind of bored of it, but also part of it was I was fucking up in high school a lot because I was trying to get Mew, I was trying to get Mewtwo, I was trying to catch them all, and it was just one of those games that I just could not put down. So my grades were failing, so I had to fix that. So I'm not looking forward to when my son's at high school. Like, Dad, I need help on homework. What part? Math. Fuck my life.
Math
I'm
was
good at
the one
math.
subject I was good at.
Well, I was good at it. It's just because I wasn't paying attention to the teacher, because I had a female math teacher who was actually in her late 20s, if you get my drift.
Yeah.
That's when all the good-looking teachers started coming around, because most of my teachers before then were senior citizens or male. My freaking gym teacher looked like Wolverine.
I mean,
All
that's
hair
better than my
everywhere.
gym teacher.
No, it's not Wolverine. Sabretooth. He had hair everywhere. And he was Greek, so it just made it even worse with his thick accent. But yeah, no, Pokemon was awesome back in the day.
It
I
sucks
still
now.
have those. Oh yeah, no. I try to get my son into it back in the day, and he's not. He just doesn't want to play it. Like he likes Pikachu, and so he has like Pikachu products in there, but he's just not big into the game. And I tried Pokemon Go when it came out. I will tell you this: it could not even get me to Pokemon Go to the poll.
The Pokemon Go sucks. I'm just gonna be honest.
Yeah.
Oh no, they actually finally. I still have the app, and I was checking earlier. They finally put a Pokemon gym in my park where I live now. Like, I live in a subdivision. Its subdivision was built back in about 10 years ago, and they finished building it 5 years ago. They had not put anything out here because Google Maps shows this area as a wilderness, like just pasture and grass everywhere. So now that they built the area, they finally updated Pokemon. Whoever's doing the Pokemon Go thing finally put a gym out here. And I was like, well, it's too late now. My son doesn't even give a shit. I don't give a shit. I remember going out to the college just to get certain Pokemon. I was like, not anymore.
I never even cared enough to actually go anywhere to get specific Pokemon.
I mean, I caught Pokemon. I caught some Diglett at the Grand Canyon, like when the game first came out.
Yeah. See, that's what got me to be like, fuck this shit. So he says, oh yeah, some Pokemon are country exclusive. I was like, I ain't going all the way to fucking Australia. Are you fucking kidding me? I can't afford that. What are you fucking
Yeah. I can't remember who I've seen do it, but they were using, like, I don't know if it was a VPN or what, where they were able to change their location just so they could get the Pokemon they wanted.
Yeah.
I don't know if they ever patched that out. Like I was like, well, that's a smart way of doing it.
Yeah, I guess we could call that smart.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time gamers like found workarounds, like how to get Arceus in without the event key.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I got my first account got banned because I said I put my name as something I thought was funny, but didn't realize it was hard R, let's just say.
Yeah.
And yeah, I did not know, because I grew up in a country, so I did not know a lot of these racial terms. Even though I'm, clearly an adult now, I think I had to Google it when they told me my account was locked. I was like, oh yeah, that's still funny. I forget what the name was, but so you do stream a lot of I guess what people are calling now retro and Nintendo games. You have Pokemon Pearl. You had like 50 episodes of Pokemon Pearl. You have Captain Toad. So you stream a lot of console games. You do have Fire Emblem, which Dash is going to squeal. Persona 5. You did Legend. Oh wow, you did Legend of Zelda. I forgot about that. You did Legend of Zelda, the SNES version.
Yep, the SNES, and I did the GBA exclusive dungeon.
Oh, that was awesome. Pokemon Gold. Go ahead. Oh, sorry. I'm just
Oh, no, it's okay. Yeah, a lot of it is just old school games that I played growing up, or
Mhm.
remasters of those games, essentially. And I, it's both fun to explore it and kind of do some digging. I'm trying to complete the games because some of the times I've never like 100%ed them. So it was fun going through and trying to complete them.
oh
But
yeah. No, it's
I to this day, the thing I was never expecting to get as many views as it did was Final Fantasy Tactics Advance 2.
oh yeah, I remember
It
that game.
to this day is the most watched playlist of mine, and I'm just shocked. It's got, I think the first video on it's got like 25K views or something.
Oh
I
wow,
Yep.
Yeah, I'm like, what?
that's
24K,
higher than
yep.
that's higher than my Dustborn stream.
I'm not gonna lie, none of my streams make it that big. But yeah, that's
Well,
awesome.
like when I initially made the video, it got my normal amount of views, and I'm like, okay, whatever. And I just played through the entire game. I did all like some of the like all the post game stuff, and I just moved on. Like a year later, I see a comment on it. I'm like, oh, okay, and I go to look, and I see the view count went through the roof. I'm like, what in the world?
Yeah. Yeah, my Dustborn stream 2.8K from a year ago. That is the highest live stream I've done. So, and you got like double digits. Wow, that's really cool. You picked a good game.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
most popular one, not for live stream, but my most popular one is Steam's new SSA updates violator consumer. It talks about the California law and what Steam did to change it last year. But that only got 2.2K. Other than that, talking about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 removed from certain online stores, got it 1.1. So I don't even make that much numbers. So I won't lie, I'm jealous. A popular live stream, however, was Tainted Grail, but that almost made it to 1K, but not quite. It doesn't help that I am snarky and I'll make fun of every platform while I'm at it, including Rumble, just because that's who I am.
Yeah, and a lot of the comments that I got from people were like, "Hey, this is someone who actually has good quality video for the game and actually has commentary on it." So it's like, okay, just
Mhm. I get
fair.
so mesmerized by certain games, I'll forget to comment, but I try. But sometimes you just don't feel like you have something to say on it and stuff. Like when for example, one of my favorite games is Duke Nukem, and I'm playing that right now. And I'll add commentary, and sometimes I'll even do a poor Duke Nukem voice here and there. But usually, I just want people to enjoy the game, and I'll sit there and I'll watch the chat. Like for example, File 13 here saying, "Sup, hello, File 13, how you doing?" So, what got you? I bumped into you, like you said, we met each other through Kyle's table because we're all doing Phasmophobia. But that was through the Geeks and Gamers tabletop circle. Did you play tabletop, or what got you into that circle?
Yeah, so like I can't even, I think it was maybe, well, it's been over 10, might have been about 10 years ago. So I can't remember exactly when I saw like my first like look into tabletop gaming, and I thought it was cool. Like you're at a table with a bunch of other people and you're rolling dice and just cutting up, having fun. And I wanted to do that, but I didn't really know anybody that could play it. And the first time I got to play it was with a bunch of coworkers uh, that I used to work with at a different company, but that had its moments where it was fun, but also it wasn't the best experience I've had.
Mhm.
But I still had fun playing it, and I always wanted to continue playing it. So I, through like just this mishmash of like people I followed, and then it's like, oh, they know that they're saying, hey, go to this channel, so I go there. I found my way over to Geeks and Gamers tabletop from that, and it was from Quarter Black Garrett actually that I found Geeks and Gamers tabletop, because that's when he was in Frostmaiden.
Oh yeah, I remember falling behind on that one, and I had to like lurk in the chat because like that was one of my favorite streams they did, and then ironically I went through Frost Maiden myself, but it'll be like spoilers, and that was a great series. But I remember the quarterback Garrett from back during my political days long ago, and he was part of a lot of Crowder's crew back in
Yeah,
the day.
that's how I felt, because I was there when him and Gerald were trying to do a race to see who could get more subscribers than the other,
Mm-hmm.
and that I was like, oh, okay, I'll sub to Quarter Black Garrett. And
Yep.
during
I
one,
mean, quarterback Carrot, that's like an awesome name right there. I'm quarter black. Okay.
yeah, that the story behind that name is interesting. I couldn't do the story justice, but
I think people
yeah.
need to ask him directly for that story, because I think he can tell it better than any of us.
Oh yeah. And I forget even what he was playing, but he was about to run late to Frost Maiden, and I was just happened to have his live stream open. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna be playing D&D over on Geeks and Gamers. Go check it out." I'm like, "Oh okay."
Yeah, I found out they were doing that from the Discord, because I've been following them since their Facebook days, and that's when they realized it was start pitching that idea. And I was like, tabletop. I was like, maybe I'll meet someone out here where I live, where I could finally play tabletop. Never had that happen per se, even though Sunker Maidens and I do play D&D on Saturdays. But no, it was a great community until they shut it down and now they're Moon Skull. But that's where we met. And have you always been playing Phasmophobia, or because like that's how we started our thing? What got you into Phasmophobia? And
Well, funny story about that. Well, maybe it's funny. I don't know. Before the live stream, I had only played it once with Kaio because he was teaching me how to play it. Because I had watched people play it before, but I was wanting to get into it, have like a group of people I could play video games with, and I had mentioned this to Sevi at some random point, because I knew her from a campaign. I was within Erudai's one of his campaigns with, and I had mentioned this to her randomly one day, and she's like, "Oh well, let me see if I could ask a couple of people, see if they would be willing to do something." And I was like, "Okay." Next thing I know, Kaio's and I are talking about doing some Phasmophobia. So,
yep, that's all. I went through. I saw Savvy had an EMF reader posted on Twitter. And I was like, "Oh my god, I love this game!" And she's like, "Yeah, this is a great game." I said, "I keep trying to find people to play it with, because it's so fun playing it alone." And she invited me to her server, and that's how I found out Kyle plays it. And we were going to play it together back in March, April, but my sinuses were so bad I couldn't even talk. Which you kind of need to communicate, obviously, in Phasmophobia. So I'm like, I can't do it. I'm sorry, I got the rain check. My throat is just fucked up. And then we finally managed to start playing back in June, I think it was. It was so long ago.
June or
But
July.
but I think he told me you were going to show up, and he also had Nozaku Boy. But I always tell people, like, if you want to see gamers just being gamers and having fun, those streams were literally the best. I still watch them, some of them to this day, and just laugh at our little hijinks. Oh man. So that being said, chat, don't forget, if you have questions, I know that we have a small stream. We are running late. We did start later in the day than normal, and we were running a little late, so we are continuing with other circles. But if you're here, you want to ask Sol a question, now's the perfect time. That being said, I think we covered everything, because I try to keep it short and sweet, because most everyone knows you from Baz Inc. But I try to find a couple of things here and there. Oh, here we go. Sonic or Mario?
Oh, jeez.
If you've watched any of the episodes, you know the answer. Choose wisely.
Don't threaten him, Dash. It's the safe space.
The weird thing is, the better games I think are with Mario, but I like Sonic more.
Good answer. You survived. I was about to call your girlfriend. No, I popped random Easter egg game questions from the console war days. Like which console was which character was better, Sonic or Mario, Nintendo versus Sega, that kind of thing. And usually, because I was, as much as I love Legend of Zelda, I was Team Sonic. So whenever someone says Mario, I'm like, goodbye. We're canceling this person here. Never allowed to be back here again. Just as a joke. So, but here's a good one. This one's not going to get you canceled or anything. But how do you feel about games that may or may not offend your religion? Like, clearly all three of us are Christians, but this is something we don't cover in Faz Inc. But you do want people to know you're a Christian. Do you think it's okay for people to have games that you feel violate your religious beliefs?
I mean, they're free to do it. I just won't play it.
Yeah, the bar for me, like, I can handle like most things involving demons and stuff, but like if it's like I don't know, a lewd game involving a nun character, I'd probably pass on it.
Yeah, there's also a game, I don't know if any of you heard of it, called Nun Massacre.
Oh, damn.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
I wouldn't play
think I've
that.
heard that one.
It's a I'm blanking on who made it, but they've made a lot of very gruesome type of games. I think it. Let me see if I can find who actually made it. But they're very. That was one of their first few games, and oh gosh, it's pretty brutal. It's Puppet Combos who made it.
What I always tell people is, like, just because I may find offense to it, that's my personal belief or my religious belief, right? I can't impose that on anyone else.
Yeah, I wouldn't like, the game's allowed to exist. I'm just not going to play it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No, like for example, I'm not going to play. There's a game that came out. I covered it called I had it in my head. I covered it like yesterday, and I just pulled a brain fart on it, and I called it the Night Trap 2.0. Hold on, let me go look at my channel real quick so I can cheat sheet this. Hold on. No, I still can't see. I did so good at hiding it. Vile. That's what Vile Exhumed. So I won't play Vile Exhumed. Basically because the person says the game talks about misogyny, this and that. There's a bunch of it talks about the R word, but it got banned off Steam because they said, quote unquote, sexual images of real life people, even though the person said, this is me, this is my face in there, it's an indie game. And she said there's none of that in there. It talks about, that subject, right? but you're going there as a detective. So when I heard the premise of it, it's like, oh, this is like Night Trap, because Night Trap was the same thing. These girls were being kidnapped, or they would go spend a night somewhere, they go missing, and spoiler alert, it was a family of vampires. By the way, you can get Night Trap right now on the Nintendo Switch.
Yep. They said it would never be on a Nintendo console, and it is.
Yeah.
Wow.
Never say never. But I was like, okay, that's not my kind of game, because I don't want to be. I felt like I was going to be preached about misogyny and this and that. So I was like, I don't agree with that kind of thing. That's talk, because I don't want to be preached to. But I think it should be allowed to exist, because I do think the topic should be explored. Right. I might not play certain games that I go with the Bible's answer on this. And the reason I say that is Melanie Mack should read her Bible, she says, but she doesn't really read it. And then when she gets caught, she runs away and says, I'm leaving X forever. Yeah. But the Bible says, test all things, hold what is good. You have the right to do everything, but not everything is beneficial. But it also says, so I can't remember the passage per se, so I'm not going to try to quote it very well, but I remember a passage that says, don't do anything that would cause you to sin, but not everything will make everyone commit the same sin. So basically, let's use Dash Attack's example. He might not be able to play a lewd game with nuns in it, because I'm not saying this is true, we're just using this example. It might cause him to sin, right? You might have lustful feelings to nuns or something like that. Whereas
I just don't find it distasteful.
Yeah.
It's just like, nuns are supposed to be like, very like pure people, like basically not me.
Yeah. Well, no, I agree. I'm just saying it's like, let's just say that's what's the case. Okay, it's a hypothetical, right? But for me, I could play that same game and I won't feel anything to it, because to me it's just a game, right? So there's that. But I do believe we should, as Christians, we personally should follow the laws of God and our religious beliefs, but we can't impose that on anyone who does not choose to follow God. That's part of walking the faith of Christianity, because Jesus never forced anyone to believe in him. He never came by and shoved people's face down on the ground and says, bow down to me and repent, for I am God. He was very merciful to the sinner.
I believe the best way to get people interested in faith is just to be like a good Christian by example.
Yeah, that's literally what Christ did.
The whole lead by example aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I can't remember which letter, but I think you're talking about one of the letters Paul wrote Lavistro, where he's like, don't be a stumbling block to your brother. And
I couldn't remember if it was Paul or Peter, but yes.
He was talking about the context of it was there were people who were very much further along in their faith than the newer Christians that were there, and they were taking food from places that were essentially used as idol worship, and they had no problem with eating any of the food, but the younger Christians thought the ones who had been in it for a while were worshiping multiple gods, so they were doing that, and it's like, no, you can't, don't do that.
Yep. Another thing that was funny was in Romans, they talked about a Christian's behavior, and they said they said if you want to dine with a non-believer, you can. What you can and can't do, and it says don't do anything that would bring shame to him, the church, the Jews, or God. Like you can't do anything to dishonor anybody. So it was that hard balance that says you have to think. Here's some examples of what you can and can't do, but you have to think. And the best way I translate that is what Paul's saying is, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. If you invited them over, would you like them to say, is this meat? I only eat tofu.
Yeah.
Eating animals is a sin. You know what I'm going to do if you tell me that? First off, I'm going to lock the door. I'm going to eat that steak in front of you. Then I'm going to let you go.
Yeah.
Just out of spite. That's a sin, by the way. I'm not going to lie. That's a sin what I just did. Just insulting you like that. But, for forcing your views on people. I'm just going to do it more, or I'm going to do the total opposite of what you want. But that being said, I would assume you would say, regardless of what it is, even if you don't agree, people have the right to do what they wish when it comes to games. It's a form of free expression.
Yeah. And as much as and I use this as kind of an example, but this was made by a Christian, and the Five Nights at Freddy's games. And
Yes.
Yep.
Doom as well.
It's a very, very dark story about children being killed, and yet people from everywhere love it. The unfortunate thing is when they found out who he donated money to, they canceled him off the internet, and he's just like, I don't want anything to do with this anymore, which is sad.
Yep. It is, but it's such a good game series. Oh my god!
But you know, to be fair, he still was involved with the movie, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the movie was good. Oh my god, was the movie good?
And they're making a second one too.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they are. They showed that in the post. I think it was in the post credits. They were showing a hint of that. But yeah, that movie was so fucking good. Oh my god, and the games too. But so, anyways. We all know, and I harp this a lot, that games are free speech under the First Amendment, according to a conservative and Catholic judge, Justice Scalia, Brown versus ESRB 2011. I love quoting that much, and I learned that in college. But yes, so games are ruled under free speech, but we have people constantly still to this day, going back from the 1970s with Death Race, to Custer's Revenge in the 80s, to Mortal Kombat, Night Trap, and I forget the other one in the 90s, to the Coffee Shop, air quotes, mod by Hillary Clinton in the early 2000s. You know, just so on and so forth. We've all been hearing it. But now the latest crazes we've been covering these past few days was censorship from payment processors, which in one video I learned came from a program in 2013 during a certain administration. I'll let people figure out what administration that was. That was called Operation Choke Point, and it was forcing banks and payment processors to ban people in the interest of protecting their brand and their identity. If they didn't do it, the regulators would come in. So now that gave them the right to, you know, banks no longer reported to their clients; they reported to, well, big government. A very socialistic move. And yes, while we don't cover politics on this channel, when politics come into the gaming sphere, we kind of had to have these talks. But it seems like the American president, Donald Trump, has passed an executive order. So who amongst our panel is familiar with the executive order?
I'm kind of lightly familiar with it. I have watched like a couple of commentaries on the executive order, but I didn't do a deep dive into it myself.
Yeah, I'm a little behind, but apparently it covers the banking issue, and it seems to also cover. I'm not sure if this was by design, but it seems to like cover like the stuff that the payment processors have been doing with TOS.
Exactly. So like I said, I love my history. I love researching things and stuff. Operation, I keep wanting to say Operation Paperclip, wrong operation. This is something you could actually look up, but Operation Choke Point back in 2013 was to choke down on gun shops and payday loan mom and pop shops, as well as cam girls and adult entertainers, shall we say, online. And so they use that nowadays. What's the main thing they're looking for now? Anything that's considered a what game, right? But if you research like what Visa's doing in Japan, you find out that Visa MasterCard pretty much runs Japan. They've already censored manga artists and anime artists, but they've also It also sends their own people to inspect stores to make sure they're not accepting cash or foreign credit cards like China or anyone else, only Visa, MasterCard. So they literally blackmail and rate politicians over it. They run. It's literally Omnicorp running Japan. It's literally what it is. So, but no. So President Trump isn't doing this in the interest of gamers. But I think gamers, and it's a win for gamers and customers as well. So he signed an executive order titled guaranteeing, and full disclosure, I love this. I have a love-hate relationship with this guy. Full disclosure, not because he said anything bad. His articles are long as fuck. They are long. So Marvin Montero is long as fuck, but he gets a lot of knowledge. We're not going to read the full article, but I'm going to give y'all a gist of what's going on. And I'm going to have to step out here shortly to check on my kid, but I'll let y'all carry the conversation on there, and I'll come back in. But basically, Trump signed a executive order that describes the politicized or unlawful debanking. This order prohibits federal bank regulators from allowing financial institutions to deny services based on customers' political or religious beliefs or their involvement in lawful business activities, which, as I've stated, games are protected under free speech, so therefore they are lawful. And I think we've covered this last week on DragonCast Dash about the Miller's test and obscenity. So if you want to say a game was unlawful or a product or entertainment was unlawful, like a certain Netflix show, right? It has to go through the Miller's test, and if it fails it can't, come to America, right? Which there are times where people ignore the Miller's test until someone says something. But this order prohibits federal banking regulators from allowing financial institutions to deny services based on, we had said all that. While the Trump EO primarily targets traditional banks, its broad language has sparked excitement in the gaming community, where payment processors like MasterCard and Visa have long been accused of content censorship by pressuring platforms to restrictively list adult-oriented or controversial games. And this is done literally through Operation Choke Point. People can look that up if they want. Could this mark the end of such practices? Early analysis and community reaction suggests it might, by stripping away justifications like reputational risk, basically to protect the brand, right? Like that's Visa and MasterCard's usual statement. We need to protect. We have an interest in protecting our brand. That's literally what reputational risk is talking about. Which is a call to Operation Choke Point. That process have been used to impose moral or ideological restrictions on legal background. So the EO directly regulators include the FDIC, Office Controller of Currency, Federal Reserve, and Small Business Association to eliminate policies that enable the banking. So basically, they're responsible right now. They have long story short, they have 180 days to make sure payment processors comply with the executive order, and he's calling on Congress to not pass a law prohibiting banks, doing this to people. So that being said, I got to step out to check on my son because he wants me for a second, and I'm going to let y'all carry on the conversation as far as payment processors. Do you think this was a good move by Donald Trump, and do you agree this might be a win for gamers and customers everywhere? I will come back to conversation momentarily.
Okay.
Yeah. So do you think it's going to hold?
The executive order has potential to hold. Of course, there's probably going to be some challenge. More than likely, some Democrats going to say something about it. But it really kind of just depends on if it is challenged, if it'll be upheld or not. I hope it does, because there's been plenty of stuff that's been in, like, at least in the East, from video games that have been censored when it comes to the West, and it does have some pretty graphic stuff in it, and they're just trying to make sure they're within that ESRB kind of rating aspect. And
Yeah.
while I get it, it's like you should try to stay true to what your vision of the game was.
Yeah, like the Bravery Default games get hit with censorship because they want that T rating.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. There's someone I watch that complains quite a bit about the Xenosaga games got heavily censored, and to the point where she bought a Japanese PS2 so she could play it in the original form. And it was just like, oh, okay. I mean, if you're willing to do that.
Like, I'm currently watching Digimon in Japanese because my hatred of like modern Pokemon and Nintendo's actions just pushed me to this point. And like I'm noticing things that definitely probably got censored. I didn't really watch the cartoon in America as a kid. So like I'm seeing like a bunch of things that definitely got cut from the show, and like probably rightfully so in some cases because they were trying to make it more kid friendly.
Yeah, I remember it, and I can't remember the last time I actually went back and watched the original Digimon series, but it was very much like American, like dad jokes, cheesy humor, and while it's funny, it's like I doubt that that's actually what they intended.
No, like there's a lot of shit jokes, a lot of like I don't know, someone gives the little boy a Uzi in one.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, he chases him with a Magnum 40.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, Pinocchio Mon. He does that.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, it's the like there was a bunch of other things like references to 666 Book of Revelations. Yeah,
I say 666 all the time. I mean, when it comes to things like that, when people get all freaked out about, I'm saying they're doing that for a reaction.
Oh no, I was saying like why it was.
Oh no, I know you're not saying that. I'm saying that people get offended by all that. I'm like, that's a reaction thing. They're doing that for free. First off, it's free publicity when people react and it goes on the news back in the day, right? But also, it just shows how crazy and unhinged you are, just like the left, when you say that. Because yes, the Bible does, warn of those days, but none know the days. When people say it's the end of days, no, it's not. These seals had not been broken. People thought the Black Plague was the end of days, for crying out loud.
Oh yeah, like even people thought World War I was the start of the end of days.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, no, not yet.
No, we don't know. But God gave us a hint, and He told it to Daniel, and He told it to John. Sorry for all the atheist viewers in my chat, but this is something educational for y'all in case y'all have to deal with this. The Bible literally says that God told Daniel and John that the end of days won't happen until all knowledge is ripened. It also says every knee will bow, every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. So, according to the Bible, there will be no belief in evolution. There will only be creationism, and your choice is: do you want to go to heaven or hell? So that's the ultimate knowledge right there. That there's no denying that the Bible is real. All science has proven the evidence of God. We know everything there is to know, and you have no choice but to make that choice. And that's when God will be like, okay, now it's the end of days. Now we can have the final battle between good and evil. Like,
yeah,
the Bible literally tells you that.
Yeah, and
we're not even close to that.
And not to be, I know this is a gaming kind of stream, but like it just says kind of like because I do a Bible reading plan that goes through the whole Bible within a year. I've been doing it for about 5-6 years now.
Yeah,
and part of it is kind of getting little tidbits of like, oh, this is something they recently found. Whether it was the Egyptian army that's at the bottom of the Red Sea, or the even the old like palace that David had. It's just it continually seeing things and hearing about stuff. It's like, oh yeah, this is proving what the Bible was saying all along, and I just love learning about that kind of stuff.
it's becoming apparent. Like, for example, fun fact, people don't know this one. Did you know that the calculations that determined our calendar that we have today, the Gregorian calendar, which is based off the Roman calendar, true, but that in our concept that the Earth was round, literally came from the Bible through Copernicus and Galileo.
Did not know that.
Yeah. Galileo said, to know that we know and to know that we know that we don't know, that is true knowledge. And he goes on further saying, I can't remember the exact quote, down in his died revolution, his book about, proving the world revolves around the sun. He says, we can finally put the sun on his place on the throne as the center of the universe, referring to God. Because he was a canon in the Catholic Church. Don't ask me what a canon is. Ask Dash. He might know.
It's the everything that was decided upon to be part of the Bible. That's canon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at least to my knowledge, it's the apostles that were like, okay, this is part of the canon, and I think I might. One of the big reasons a lot of Paul's writing, letters, were canonized as scripture was due to Peter saying that they were pretty much scripture.
Yeah.
So
Peter endorsed them, and Peter is basically, according to Catholics, the first pope, but according to God, the gatekeeper of heaven. So, but going back from religion back to games, because Dash was talking about the 666 and all that stuff. People would try to censor games because of that. Like, for example, one of my favorite things, and I would roll my eyes up, but mind you, I was an atheist back then, a true atheist. I didn't want nothing to do with God. Was oh my God, they're doing satanic rituals like drinking blood in Dragon Age. And yet, the same creators created Mass Effect, where you find out Ashley Williams is a Christian, and she poses that question to Shepard. So you can canonically make Shepard a Christian or not, which doesn't continue on in 2 and 3, but it's that player flavor choice. Is Shepard a Christian or not? He could say he's agnostic, he can say he's a Christian, or he can say rather he is an atheist, which I found really interesting. I wish people would put more of that in there, because it gave a different view of Christians. You don't see Ashley Williams mentioning much about her faith or anything of that sort. She just seems like a normal person, which most Christians are. We just, what would you say, have a lifestyle change where we want to be closer to God for ourselves?
At least for me, I would say that having that relationship with Christ is something that I've seen as just a necessity, because whether it's through life circumstances or just through my own study of the Bible, I've kind of just come to learn more and more about God, and it's made me more and more dependent on him, and not in a sense of like I'm not going to do anything, but I'm going to lean into not my understanding, but the understanding that God gives me, and as I read the Bible. And
so what would you say, because we kind of going back into religion, I'm trying hard not to, but I'm trying to tie your Christian. No, you're not. It's not your fault. What I'm trying to do, because you say you're a Christian and you want people to know you're a Christian. Everyone knows Dash and I are, Christians as well. But since you're a cross gamer here, right? I'm trying to tie your religious beliefs in with the conversation at hand. So what I'm asking is, when Collective Shout and Visa MasterCard said these games are wrong, and obviously the Bible will probably say they're wrong for Christians to play, right? Do you believe that this is an attack on God that Trump is doing, or do you believe these are Pharisees dictating the Bible for their means, and that we, even if we don't agree, the Bible would not want us to censor these games, but rather give people a choice?
Honestly, I would just say that these ladies just are more along the lines of Pharisees. They're the individuals that try to build the fence around the law per se and say that is the law when it's not.
Mm-hmm.
And and the way I look at it is the world is going to. We live in a fallen world. We're going to continue to see some very deranged things happen, and it's unfortunately something that's a natural thing to a lot of people out there. And just because it happens doesn't mean we just like, oh, we got to shut it down. It's like, no, it's going to happen. We don't have to support it. We don't have to endorse it.
Like this whole protecting kids thing, kids are gonna find a way online anyway. Like, there are safeguards in place to keep children away from material they're legally not supposed to be engaging with.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to say, as a parent, that's my job.
Yeah.
My kid has YouTube, but it's through my account. So while you're seeing me as Lavistro the Dragon of Cyberspace, my son is on Lavistro's channel account and he's watching videos. So what am I doing is I keep checking on him. I check him for my phone's watch history, but I also go down and check him as well because it's getting late. I can't watch him. If he gets smacked by a car playing outside and I'm doing a podcast, that's no bueno. I don't have another parent to watch him with me. So this is why we have DragonCast in the evening. Plus it gets really hot around this time of day. So I let him watch his shows or play video games, and I monitor him. That's my job. You can argue that it would take a village to raise a child, but I'm the parent. I decide which member of the village will help raise my child. Is it going to be the town drunk or the town shaman or the town wise man? I guarantee you it's going to be the smartest one, the one with some morals, not the drunk. So definitely not the Zaku boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Good job, man.
Like, I was raised by two wonderful parents, and I grew up in the middle of nowhere, and so it's just one of those things where they had to find a way to parent us, and we never actually went on the internet until we were in like high school. But
oh yeah.
And it wasn't really a sense of not like the choice of not being able to. It's just we had dial-up internet. Who wanted to be on that? But yeah, like growing up, my brother and I would play outside for most of the day, and it wasn't only until my parents were getting more jobs that kind of kept them away from home majority of the time, and my brother was old enough to let us stay in the house by ourselves, and we would just play video games. So
yes. So to cover back on a title of censorship, right? So Trump made an executive order saying people have to comply. Now the banks can't be telling you what you can and cannot do with your money. And full disclosure, one thing I found out is that when you have a Visa MasterCard, you're not using Visa MasterCard's money. They license their IP to banks to use their payment processing system. So the merchants use it. You're using the bank's money, who are using a Visa MasterCard, to allow you to purchase things in other areas. That's why he says, yes, we set Visa MasterCard. You're not using Visa MasterCard money. You're using the bank's money that you have. So you have Citibank, Wells Fargo, whatever, right?
yeah,
You have a credit card through them, but it's licensed through Visa MasterCard for their payment processing. So when you pay for something and it goes through that, you swipe your card, it goes through a software system that's the payment processing, right? And they told Steam and Valve that they should remove anything that was considered patently offensive or seriously lacking artistic value. So the seriously lacking artistic value, that's literally from the Miller's test. So what would you say, in your personal opinion, You don't have to say game title or a title of anything, but you could give an example if you wanted to, or if you could, I should say. I'm going to ask both of y'all this. What would y'all consider a seriously something that's seriously lacking artistic value, has no purpose? It would be obscene.
Well, there's a few games out there that are like that, but I could make a joke answer and say Dustborn because golly, that's awful. But,
I know.
Well, Dustborn actually flirts that because it's solely for political agenda.
Yeah,
it skirts that. I'll just say it skirts that.
Oh yeah, I've seen plenty of clips from that game, and I'm like, these people were actually serious making this game? Okay.
That's what are your thoughts? Oh, unless you're not done, Sol.
Oh, on Dustborn?
No, on what you think is considered lacking. What you translate lacking serious artistic value for games.
What is lacking serious artistic value?
Yeah.
Well, anything can really be considered quote unquote art. It's whether or not it's good art. Like, Dustborn, we might disagree with its messages and how it was presented, but it's technically, it's hard I can't say it's art. It's just, I can't.
Yeah.
That shit was.
Go ahead.
But technically it's supposed to be.
Technically, yes. Everything is to consider. Go ahead, Sol.
Well, I was going to say it tries to be art, but it's just propaganda. Is all.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's just propaganda. It was made to reinforce political ideas and beliefs.
And there's your answer. All right. So the Miller's test, right? It has something to do with, it has poses 3 questions. I'm not going to pull it up because it would take some time to find it again. But the word age literally asks 3 questions, and one of them is, does it have seriously artistic value? It mentions politics and everything else. The simplified version of that, when I was an intern, I got to work with I keep mentioning him all the time. I was just brain fart. Hold on, I have him on my friend Mike Laidlaw. He was one of the creative directors for Dragon Age, and when I was an intern, I got to talk to him. Right, and part of my requirements as an intern was to interview him for my thesis. And I asked him about the Miller's test, and he says the simplest way to put it is, if it's solely made for shock value, social justice, political propaganda, or money, it ceases to become art. That was literally his translation to me, which to me that translates that Dustborn is solely made for political propaganda, therefore, and social justice. Therefore, it's not art. But that's my personal view. You would have to have people actually rule that's the case. But I guarantee you, most gamers would probably agree Dustborn is not a game. It's political propaganda, and plus they have stolen assets.
You can't even skip.
They actually stole assets.
I think. Yeah, I think it was. Someone accused them of stealing a concept.
Well, they bought assets that were stolen. They bought assets from a store.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. And that's the thing. Like, it's okay to buy assets. I do it all the time when I do freelancing, and I have the concept a level out because I don't have time to model all the freaking things I need to model. So I have assets that I use that were concepts, right? And I let them know about it. So if they wanted to use it for their game, they would have the license they would have to need. They would have to have the asset, requirements, all that stuff. Right. But, there's one thing about using assets, especially when they give you the end user license, say, yeah, you can use this for your game. You just pay this much and that's it. Right. But there's another when you steal from someone, which again, that's what they did. And instead of fixing the issue, they just tried to hide it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's where I would say you're definitely at fault. Like if you didn't know, it's like, oh, like go and fix it. And they said something. Oh, we didn't realize it was stolen, but we fixed that issue. We actually have assets that weren't stolen. That would be one thing.
yeah.
But
And I do agree with Dash that even though we all agree Dustborn isn't a game, it's political propaganda. Just because we disagree on that, we don't dictate what gamers can and cannot play. So therefore, there is some value because some people actually played it. Now, the argument could be made that people played it, which is why I always tell people don't buy the game just for clout and showcase it on your streams for views. If you don't like the game, if you know the game's going to suck, you've read the news and you know it's not going to be good, don't get it. Case in point, Dragon Age of Velgard. They literally told you, even in the trailer, it is not going to be following the old canon. It's not going to follow the lore, and that they're trying to change everything. In fact, the creative director of that game called himself a queermancer. So I said, "Yep, I'm not playing this game." But some people like it. Some people like Assassin's Creed Shadows. I'm like, I'm not going to play it. I don't think it's a great game. I don't like political propaganda pushed to me, but you play your game. So, yeah.
yeah, with Assassin's Creed Shadows, it's like, oh my goodness, the amount of jokes people could make about that is just insane. The one black guy in Japan murking Japanese people, and it's just like their self-awareness was zero when they did that.
Oh, I tried Yasuke Simulator instead when it came out. That game was a meme.
That game is fucking art. Even
Yes.
when the game breaks down, it rewards you. Yasuke, this is a glitch. You'll have to start the game over.
Yeah, like the whole thing is a joke and a meme on itself. It's a parody, which a parody is, sadly, for some people who get sensitive in the feels, is art. In fact, parody was made to make fun of political issues when the noble lords and emperors and kings would behead you on the spot for being critical of their decrees.
The big character death in Yasuke Simulator probably had a more emotional impact than anything in Shadows.
Probably. Yeah, that was the whole point of the court jester too, was just he was the only one that could make fun of the king. But it was there to kind of just help relieve the tension.
Yep. They go in, and we've already covered it pretty much, but they go in and tell people, how this could help with games. But I want to ask, because I stepped away, maybe I already answered it while I was gone. But do y'all think the executive order could help games?
Potentially.
Yeah, it's like it could potentially help. It's still kind of up in the air since this is brand new. I certainly hope it does help, because the payment processors shouldn't be the ones determining whether or not a payment should go through. They're there to provide a service of letting a payment go through. They're not the ones that should be the ones stopping it.
Yeah, they're bean counters. They haven't finished counting my beans yet. And let me tell you, you can count my beans, even though I'm a big, awesome streamer with lots of subs and lots of ad revenue, and I swim in a pool of jello and all this other stuff people seem to think I do. You can count my beans with 2 hands. That's it. You got more fingers than I have beans to count bean counters. You could be counting my beans and make sure I had the right count. Just pointing it out there.
Yeah, just make sure that when I look at my account that it says what it is and payments go through properly. I don't need to have backdraws or anything like that.
Yeah, or if I'm about to go, overdraft, let me know. That's what you could do. If you want to let me know something what I shouldn't be spending my money on, just tell me, you, sir, do not have enough money for this, sir. you're going to be overdrawn. Do you really want to be overdrawn and pay us extra money to deal with that? No? Okay, don't buy that. Then I will just wait and buy it when I have the money. I don't need you telling me what is a sin, what's not a sin. You're not my God. Which, yeah. So we are probably going to cut it early because, like I said, we did start a little late, and that was totally on me. I told you about that. I totally flaked. I was going to be on Pupcast earlier today, and we've been planning that since before the summer. And then it was back to school, so I literally had 3 days. Actually, I think we'll cover. You would say you're a Nintendo guy, right?
Mostly. More recent years, it's been more PC. But yeah, especially on my channel, majority of it is Nintendo.
Okay, have you ever heard of RTA?
I don't think I have.
Oh, good. What about you, Dash? You cover anime, manga, and games. Have you ever heard of RTA?
RTA, no.
You might have, and probably don't know. So we'll cover this last little thing. This is from Bounding into Comics. Nintendo forbids charity speedrunning event.
That's the name of the charity. I've heard the story.
Okay.
I just didn't know the name of the event.
Yeah.
I was trying not to give it completely away. That's on me. I set the bar too high.
Another dick move by Nintendo.
As if they didn't need any more reasons for people to hate them.
Yep. And which is a shame because I love, Legends of Zelda. Now, full disclosure, I hated this game and I had a love-hate relationship with this game because the ending was awesome. I hated the premise of this Link. I hated the art style and the premise of a boy Link. I always translated Link, even back in the NES days, as at least 18. I thought he was like a teenager or young adult because boy, when they referred to him as boy or lad, the archaic sense of that was a young adult. Someone who was like in the early 20s or something like that. Which would make sense because, back in his in coming of age stories, when the protagonist would leave their house, there'd be about 18, early 20s to set off in the world to do their own thing, right? So that would make sense that an old man would call them boy. So I always hated that part, that game, the art style and that, but the ending where the king was literally saying, let them have, their life, their thing, and basically kind of doing a passing the torch kind of deal. That actually made me cry. And the fact that Link was trying to hold on to the king, even though he's already dead, he's basically a ghost. It was, to me, I thought it was a really good ending. I just hated the game because I didn't like staring at the boat's ass for the whole trip.
I actually don't mind the cell shading for Wind Waker. Wasn't the problem I had with it. The problem was because I played the GameCube version initially, which was you sailing for like 20 minutes just to get to point B, and then you spend maybe an hour or two if you're doing a dungeon, and then you leave. You're sailing even more. It was so boring for that. And if they condensed the map more, I would have been fine with it. The funny thing is the game's sequel, Phantom Hourglass, did a much better job with it. But it was on PS, so take what you want with that.
But for those who don't know, going on, because I know we need to go off tangent, RTA Japan has announced their upcoming charity speedrunning summer 2025 event will not feature Nintendo titles after the company contacted them about using their games without permission, despite having done so with no quibble for 9 years. So basically, RTA was able to do this for 9 years, and now all of a sudden, Nintendo has an issue with it. The organizers announced the news on Monday, just a few days before summer 2025 event begins. RT Japan has previously used Nintendo games, but on June 13, 2025, Nintendo pointed out that prior permission is required for the use of Nintendo games by corporations, and that the previous use by organization considered unauthorized use without prior permission. Organized to explain. Sidetracking a little bit, how long do you think it's going to take before Nintendo sends RTA a lawsuit?
Oh, I don't know.
They said without permission, so it sounds like they would do. Sounds like something they would do.
Yeah, I mean they're trying to sue Power World. Pocket
Oh,
Pair.
that one was dirty.
They're still in the middle of it.
Yeah, I personally think Sony's not doing a good job defending Power World, but
well, I think Sony is suing Tencent now, or they're talking about suing Tencent.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Square Enix to sue Nintendo. Technically, we came out with Pokemon first. Dragon World Monsters.
The funny thing is I think it was Endymion that made a video, and I made a comment on his where it's like I'm just waiting for Square Enix to file a lawsuit against Nintendo because they came up with the whole riding. Well, maybe they didn't come up with it, but they definitely had it first, where you're riding on an animal to travel because they had the chocobos.
Yep.
And
another thing I'm waiting for them to do is sue every JRPG title out there they never owned, because they were the first JRPG, Final Fantasy, and they based that off of D&D. So I'm waiting for Wizard of the Coast to sue them. This is gonna be one hell of a lawsuit battle.
It's just like Nintendo. Why did you have to open this can of worms?
You open Pandora's box, and that, like, full disclosure, in the industry, game designers, we come up with new ideas, sure, but we also expand on ideas we found interesting. So every game that came out was based on a game that inspired each game designer.
I swear, the Japanese leadership at Nintendo gives zero fucks about how people perceive them. They just think they run the industry now because their competitors like shat themselves and are now like, anything could be a PlayStation, anything can be an Xbox. Basically admitting defeat.
Yeah.
But to be fair, Nintendo's been doing this since the 90s.
Well,
they were never this bad.
Yeah,
not this bad, no. But
they've gotten a lot more brazen about how they want to have such a claw into their own IPs, and anything that resembles anything like theirs, they're like, no, we don't want that. It's like, well, it's not your decision.
It should be noted that Japanese fair laws are different from those in the US, and it's uncommon for streamers to ask publishers for permission to avoid any such issues. Nintendo has even handed out guidelines to streamers in the past. Yeah, if someone hands me a guideline, I'm not reading it. I'm just gonna toss it out the window. Though I do tell people read their terms of service. That's a thing. But continuing on, RT Japan wishes to continue with using Nintendo games, has begun negotiations with Nintendo regarding permission. Organization, as of now, RTA Japan will submit permissions requests to Nintendo on a case-by-case basis for each event and game. However, for RTA Japan server, we are unable to determine a clear policy at the time for announcing select games, so we have decided not to use Nintendo games for this event. You know what? I would even bother, like if I was them, I wouldn't even bother sending Nintendo a permission request. Like, oh, okay, you're not going to allow us to use your games to promote a charity to help people who can't help themselves. Okay, fine. We'll just let our fans and people who support us know that you actually do not care about people who cannot help themselves. You do not care about these causes. So therefore, we're going to respect your wishes and not play your games. I would literally do everything I can to make Nintendo look bad in this situation.
Oh, yeah.
But that's just me.
At that point, it's like just waiting for a ticking time bomb of them trying to maybe send people who like make YouTube videos on Nintendo's content and then just say, hey, you didn't get permission from us. I don't know what they're doing. Nothing smart.
No. but this is just another case, just like with Power. I mean, it's not surprising, sadly. I think we can all agree on that. But yeah, I'm not going to tell people don't play Nintendo games anymore. But when they came out with Switch, they say, oh, it's going to be about $500, half a grand, and every game should cost $100 now. I told myself, we're not getting a Switch 2. I'm sorry. That's like I don't have to tell you, I can't afford that. And plus, I don't want my son's Nintendo getting bricked just because he saw a YouTuber that I didn't catch, right? And he drops the N-bomb live on stream. And so my son does that in a game chat, and Nintendo bricks him for it. I mean, that's my job to take away.
That's the other thing. I have the Switch 2. I did not sign up for the freaking game chat because, like, I have to sign another TOS on top of that and risk getting banned from the chat and getting bricked. No, I'm just going to keep using Discord, bitches.
Yeah.
Oh, did you read the terms of service?
What?
Dash? Did you read the terms of service?
I actually did read the terms of service. They were shit.
Yeah, see, that's why I tell you got to read them nowadays. You got to read before you sign. It's always the thing to read before you sign.
Yeah, I know where you were going with this. Just play it anyway. Just because we're talking.
No, I'm going to ask Soul. I'm going to ask Soul. So, do you read when you buy a game and it gives you an end user license agreement? You have to agree to first. Do you read it?
Typically, no.
You don't.
Majority of the time, I have just not bothered because it's just.
So you're totally okay with having your mouth sewn to an Asian guy's butt?
Are you saying you want out? Fine, you don't want to be part of this? Then just sign right here. No, you didn't read it! This says we don't ever have to let you out and then we can do whatever we want! Damn it, why won't it read?
This is one of my favorite clips.
I saw that clip before. I don't watch South Park, but I've seen that clip.
But yeah, no, that's literally like, okay, fair, to be fair, right? EULAs typically do get thrown out in court. Typically do. However, most game companies are bringing them back in because Ubisoft tried to get rid of the crew. Even though they guaranteed that game would be around until 2099. So now they're trying to say you don't own your game, your digital copy of the game, you don't own it. They reserve all the rights. You promise you will not modify it. All this other stuff. They can collect your data, data, all that stuff. So what I do on my live streams, whenever I see an EULA pop up that I have to agree to, I read it live on stream for my viewers, so they know what they're getting into before they buy the game. So yeah, they're probably gonna be like, "Oh, shut up, Lavistro, just play the fucking game." But I'd rather tell 20 people that this EULA says this than not say that, because I know that like people like you and I used to be like this as well until someone told me about it. That it's probably good to read the EULAs like Dash did and found out his little interesting things. And when people say they haven't read it, I play that clip because that's my favorite. That's my favorite clip.
Yeah, like from ones I've read, they're all pretty much the same. So it's like, okay, yeah, all right, fine, and I just move
But
on.
if you have a problem with that company and you want to sue them, and they say you can't sue them, but if you want to pursue legal action, one EULA will say you need to go to Washington, while let's say another one will say you need to go to Florida.
Yeah, if it's a company I don't support, I don't typically buy their games. So
I usually go with the mentality of, if you're saying I can't own my digital copy of the game, then and I'm just buying a license, if you're saying that, I'm going to get my refund right away. I have actually canceled streaming schedules just because of that.
Yeah, it's so.
RuneScape Dragon Wilds. I wanted to play a game with dragons in it, and you fucking ruined it.
Yeah, there's the whole like you don't own your games aspect is one of the most retarded things to me. It's a
corporate thing, though. It's what you're trying to push,
and that's why like there's a couple of sites out there that will sell you the actual copy of the game and you own it.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, there's very few of them now,
Yep, that's why there
or more reputable ones, I guess.
that's why there are laws coming out now in certain regions, states, and provinces that are forcing stores to say they're buying a license, which I
Yeah.
say is totally different than forcing stores to remove certain content because you don't like it. Because this is a legal issue. If you want people to know you're not buying a game, and we're accustomed to spending our money and buying a product and owning it. I mean, how many times have we bought games that we liked, right, or we thought we were gonna like? We play it, and this is even before GameStop was around, right? We would go and our friends like, "What, you gonna play that game?" No. I'll sell to you for like $5. And they're like, and you're like, fuck yeah. So you buy it for like $5, you got a game, right? We're accustomed to that, right? We're accustomed to having
Yeah.
garage sales of things we no longer want or need. So our mentality is it's our game, but our copy of the game, we should say. But now they're saying no, you got a license. Which if I wanted to buy a license a game or rent it, I would have gone to Blockbuster, which no longer exists. I would have gotten a Game Pass.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, this is how I see it. If you want to do the licensing aspect of it, then yeah, do like a subscription that you have to actually sign up for. But if someone just wants to purchase the game, let them do that.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be anything wrong with that. And at that
especially
point,
if you're charging me $80 a game.
Oh
if
yeah,
I'm paying $80 a game, then yeah, I should own the game outright, regardless if it's digital or hardware.
Well, the crazy thing with Nintendo is that they're charging $80 for the digital copy, $90 for a physical box that has the key to the digital copy, and it's like buying the game.
Yeah, you're just buying the case.
Yeah,
congratulations, you paid $90 for the case of a game that doesn't have a game in it.
It really became like you pay $10 extra for plastic.
Yeah.
So,
but that being said, we are wrapping up on time here. So this is the part of the show where the guest of honor gets to do things that no one else can do, which is very rude. And I'm already starting to see it now because goodbye, Dash. Goodbye, Lavistro. It's time to.
Okay. You can find me at CrossGamer on YouTube. I play video games, as we've been talking previously. Mostly Nintendo stuff, but I do mostly like playing just any RPG game, strategy game out there. And I love showcasing it to my audience. If you are at all interested in that, you can find me on YouTube. I stream every now and then, but I'm still trying to figure out a good schedule for streaming. But I upload videos every Saturday.
Yeah. Now, that was actually pretty quick, even though that's usually how it goes. Soul, thanks for coming on. And obviously, my friends, go subscribe to Soul. He also has a Kick as well. Are you on Rumble?
No.
No. And I don't have to tell you this because you already know, but whenever you have a new video, Cyber Dragon will be alerting it to you. And if you put your name in chat, if you wanted to, I can mod you so that way you can showcase your links if you're ever needing views or want to advertise your channels when I stream, because I do that for all my friends and guests. And you're also allowed to come back on DragonCast whenever you want. We have one guy that does that, Mikey, the Goon Room. Whenever he hears I have a topic coming up and he wants to join in, he'll be like, "Hey, Lavistro, can I pop in?" And he pops in. So we've interviewed him in the past too. But that being said, before we do our final outros, this is the tradition I have since the beginning of my streams, which was showcasing good games. And everyone that comes on DragonCast has to show at least one good game, which I think is fair because normally I find games and I make videos on those games, reading them on Niche Game or whatever for people to find out. So we'll start with Dash. Dash, did you find a game you liked?
I just did, yeah.
You just did. This is just like high school. Okay, class. At your homework is due at the next week at this time period. Make sure you have it. And you're like that one kid that does their homework the day of the assignment is due.
I have games on wish list. I have the requirements is they have to be like new games or upcoming games. Well, I found this one. See, Hypno and
PSP.
Bad Steven Seagal. Both. Yeah, Whisper Mountain Outbreak. It's a co-op
When a
horror
group
game.
is down, you can revive them.
You
with
might
a
want to
caution
pause
pop-up.
or mute the sound so I don't get copyright struck. There we go.
So it's an occult themed game. The town's been like, it has like zombies. I guess there's like an evil, demonic evil somewhere, and now you have like it's kind of like a 2.5D Resident Evil co-op game.
Huh.
I think Kyle Saber might actually want us to play this game later on.
Oh, I'm actually going to probably link it in my Discord server and gauge interest because this looks fantastic and I can see it being a big hit. If it's
It looks fun.
Oh yeah.
Any
I'd play it.
Banshee waifus?
I'm sure. Oh, there's one. I think that was a waifu. Mods. We'll get mods on that.
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, that actually looks pretty good. I'm not even gonna ask you what you saw interesting. It looks interesting from the video. There's a demo on Steam. That's a plus for me because I'm a sucker for free demos. I miss those days when you get a game or a game magazine, they offer free demos.
Yeah.
Or you go to Walmart and they'd have the little memory card chip. At least for a 360, it was like this. You could download a game demo.
Well, the game comes out Monday, so
Oh, okay.
Well, it says October 26th.
no, it says August. I probably got pushed.
October. It says right there.
Demo available October 20th.
Ah.
No, release date August 11th, 2025.
Yeah, I definitely want to get this game when I get paid.
Yeah.
So
that was mine.
yeah, so were you able to do some window shopping?
Yeah. Oh,
If you don't know
This
how to
is-
share it, you can send me the link and I'll share it for you if you don't know how.
okay. Yeah. Typically I have kept an eye on well, the creator for this actually made a version of this game a long time ago, but he's doing a much more updated version of it. And
I swear to God, if you say Echo the Dolphin, I'm banning you.
no, it's not. It's a horror game. And
Oh, why am I not surprised?
this is actually a fan game from the FNAF fanverse, and that Scott did. And the original one was pretty well received by the community back in 2016. But he's doing a updated version of it, and there is a demo out, and it looks even better than it did. Gosh, that's almost 10 years ago, but it looks fantastic. The demo is essentially the fourth kind of like chapter of the game, and it's got some creepy moments about it, and I'm excited to see what he actually does with it.
Ooh, shit. Yeah, sorry guys, we're muting this down for copyright shit, but that looks like Five Nights at Freddy's right there.
Oh yeah, that's Freddy.
Yeah.
And the guy is incredibly talented for what he does. So
I can tell. Looks kind of fun. Maybe if it comes up before Halloween, I'll pick it up, stream it. That's actually a pretty
Joy
good
of
game.
creation.
Yep. I'm not on my account, but I'm definitely going to wishlist that. And then I guess it's my turn to show something. So mine's not a horror game, nor it's a Five Nights at Freddy inspired. But I found this on X before I got banned, or not banned. I don't even know if I don't even know what I am. I don't know if I'm banned or not banned. It just says they said I'm not locked out of my account yet. If you look on my profile, it says my account has been locked. So I don't know what I am. I'm in limbo. But this is I had not Lavistro bring this up for me so I could because I couldn't remember the name of it. But it's called Angel Roulette. Now, full disclosure, I don't normally play card games, but I thought this was an interesting concept. All right. So you're playing games, but it's like the Wild West with female protagonists.
Okay. That the shotgun reminds me of Buckshot Roulette.
Mm-hmm. It's just
Well,
like crazy.
The loser gets to shoot like someone, I guess.
I guess. I guess it's funny when you lose the game, you get shot out, or it's. I'm not sure if it's like it's like it looks to be like a card gambling game with character customizations. I think it's all female characters.
Oh yeah, they're definitely going for the
Gooner.
goon audience. Oh,
Yep.
breath flyers, baby! Yeah,
Mhm.
we are so back.
Yeah, and I thought it was funny as hell. So I was like, "Oh, this is an interesting concept." They do have a demo. I haven't tried it yet. Not Lavistro sent this to managed to get this to me shortly before podcast, so I couldn't get too much look into it. But just the concept of playing cards and shooting your opponents with confetti guns is awesome. YouTube confetti guns.
Oh man, I'll do it.
Yeah,
We should collab. We'll all play a game.
you do strategy customization, allows for to truthfully choose a diverse range of weapons. I'm believing from what I understand of it, it's a actual card game. So I'm going to try to play the demo. It does have Steam achievements. It does have online PvP for you PvP players, and it's also singles player. So I thought it was interesting, and that was my game. Like you know me, Dash. I like to find interesting games no one has ever heard of.
Angel Roulette. I am definitely adding that to my list.
Yes, in fact, for people who are interested, because we're wrapping up, I need to start doing this. So, Dash, could you put your? Oh, that's the studio chat. Could you put your link in the description?
Oh, for Whisper Mountain. Sure, I can.
Yeah.
Do that. Okay. Yeah. Let me. Here you go.
Yeah, put that
Using
in
my
the
mind
chat
powers to send the link.
And then I'll go ahead and do that for the other one while we're wrapping up. But since it's the end of this show, so obviously you got to show your stuff. So Dash, what you got going on next week, and where can people find you?
Okay, I don't have any guests lined up just yet. So I'll probably be continuing to play Curse of the Wolf and Mafia interchangeably. And you can find me on YouTube, Kick, Rumble, and X. I alternate between multi-streams, but I will always be streaming on YouTube because that's my main platform.
Yes. You can always find me as well on YouTube and Rumble. I still have to do my Rumble ad requirements, and I know people don't want me to read them. That's why they come on my YouTubes. But kind of need to feed the dragonling. He's a growing dragon. He's about to be a teenager for a dragon, which is not good. He's about to breathe fire and notice, he's going to start getting in trouble. And I got, had the money off to the side. So, stop by my Rumble streams every night, usually around 10 p.m. We are no longer doing the late night streams where I stream up until 4 o'clock in the morning Central Time because he's going back to school. So it'll be 2 hours, usually around 10 p.m. to midnight. Then we also have Faz Inc. I'm still wanting to say Phasmophobia Wednesday nights, even though we don't do it anymore. But Faz Inc. with Soul Soldier. I think this weekend we have is it Nozaku's coming with us, Soldier, remember, or is it Commander N?
It should be Nozaku.
Yeah, so you would see Nozaku on Left 4 Dead 2 with us. Will we make it, or will we set out the witch? But most of all, you get to see Soul Soldier's confidence as he leads us through all this stuff and gets himself in all kinds of trouble. That's the thing. And I got obviously Satisfactory Friday nights, but the rest of the week we scheduled is Duke Nukem until I complete all the achievements, as is what I usually do. So stop on for that, or until Steam is forced to remove it off the platform. But I think with our glorious God Emperor Trump himself, that's probably not going to happen, I hope. So I can finish the game and move on to other things. So it's awesome seeing you. Great to have you here finally. You're more than welcome to come back in if you ever want to be on DragonCast and share news with us. Next week, we're doing our fearless leader himself and the host of Faz Inc. himself, Kyle Zaber. So stop off for that. Until then, y'all have a good day and play your games your way. Happy gaming, everybody. You're still here. What? You thought there'd be a post-credit scene or something? This isn't a Disney movie. Show's over. Go get some sleep. Play a video game. Watch another YouTube video. I gotta take care of the Dragon Wing and possibly get some sleep myself. Goodbye all, and thanks for watching. And happy gaming.